the shadows starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports.
And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. First down. It's Mitchell. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. Well, this defense for the Buccaneers, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run. And let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long afternoon.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a give right side. It's Mitchell. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
But now they're in a spot that every team tells us when we have our production meetings they don't want to be in, 3rd and long. And that's because those back-to-back running plays just didn't accomplish a whole lot.
And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. And Lance now to throw. And oh, that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way he wanted to start this ball game as it brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Brady going to bring the Bucs up with a 1st and 10 at the 34. On the ground, this is Leonard Fournette. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Second and 8 coming up. Here's Brady to throw. A throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon.
That'll give him 8 that time, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll try and run forward with Fournette. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
That's a very nice game there, a confidence-building run. Love the execution up front, and the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
Now Leonard Fournette. The Pro Bowl corner, Jason Verrett, on the tackle.
Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope, and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
Fournette, a first down carry. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Second down, back to Fournette.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 15-yard line. We're scoreless after 1.
of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Brady. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
But we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Brady. Throw right side. This is into the hands of the tight end, Tunyon. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Fournette running right. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up 3rd downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I'm guarantee you it started in the offseason. 3rd down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. Fournette. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette with touchdown number 7 on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock.
And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? Here's Lance. To the right side, it's caught by Mitchell. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. A good rally to the football holds him to 2, and that brings up a 4th down.
They'll go for it. Lance gets this one to Juszczyk. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So the punt rolls out of bounds, and they'll have pretty good field position here up near the 40-yard line. Brady and the Bucs now with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. He'll begin with a give to Fournette to start the drive. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. 2 minutes on the clock. 2nd quarter. 7-0 ball game. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy. Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Now they'll throw with Brady. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
Now, how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
Touchdown! It's the fullback with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 ball.
You got to make sure you just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
Zerline good with a PAT, and it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And in a spot like this, still more than a minute, I think if you put something on the board before halftime, that would go a long way towards helping them get back into the game.
There actually is something to the psychology of the game at times.
And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. Shaquille Barrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Back quite a ways here, facing 2nd and 19.
Another try after the first down sack. Lance. And this will be caught by his big wide receiver. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
This time they stay on the ground, and they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Buccaneers out on top. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bucs with a lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway.
A fairly short kick from the 14.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Second half beginning with a run from Fournette. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Throwing now is Brady.
And that's complete. It's Chris Godwin.
And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Here's a give to Fournette. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Fournette once more on 2nd down.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down, keep the sticks moving.
On first down, Brady. Over the middle, he finds Godwin, complete.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On second down, here's Fournette. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And now a fumble. Brady loses the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. The 40. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line.
Well, you had an offense working with a comfortable two-score lead here in the third quarter, and certainly doesn't feel as comfortable now following the turnover.
Yeah, you're right about that, because now the nerves start to come into play a little bit. You're a little bit jangled. You don't want to give your opponents any avenues to get back into the game. What you'd rather do, put up signs that say, roads closed.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's second and 7. Throwing now is Lance. He's got his big wide receiver complete.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. First and 10 right at the 20.
Lance, a give now to Sermon.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Lance looking to throw it.
Looking for the end zone.
And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands, but could not hang on. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. And they give this time to the tailback. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line.
40 yards on the ground for him so far.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Give him 3 yards there, as that'll take us to fourth down. Kyle Shanahan's made the decision. They're going on 4th down.
Lance and company going on 4th down.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Buccaneers defense holds, and they get the football back. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And last time, the fumble, the turnover. Now, they still have the lead, but I don't think coaches care. The turnovers will bother them no matter what the scoreboard says.
That's the relief that you still have the lead, but coaches look at what if and what it should be. Turning the ball over when they've got a chance to score more points and increase the lead, that's what's going to affect them.
And they're also thinking to future weeks, maybe when the game's closer, right?
No doubt about it. You want to clean up everything. Let's just be honest about it. They want everything to be perfect at all times. They don't want to give up anything that's going to hurt their team.
Wait, 53! Check, block 54, block 54. Watch QB drop. Watch QB drop.
Play action. Now it's Brady. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. To throw again on 2nd down. Brady.
That quick pass here to Godwin.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Brady. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now Brady again. And the Niners get there and bring him down.
It was Eric Armstead fighting his way through that time to record the sack. The sack backs him up 3rd and long. Tough challenge for Brady and the Bucs. Well, when you time those screen passes perfectly, they can work perfectly. But that time, it took a little too long to develop.
And you zeroed in on exactly what makes that play go. Timing. Because if the timing's off at all, those unblocked defenders coming at the quarterback, they'll put him on the deck.
Here's Bradley Pinion now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line.
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work and helping their team.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 15, and they will take over with a football just outside of the 10 at the 12-yard line.
CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
So after the INT, it's Brady. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second.
Boy, that's tough, Charles. First play of the drive, you're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. You take that huge sack, and now you're facing second and a mile.
And the entire time, you were probably thinking the same thing I was. Either get rid of the ball, safely, of course, or go down. The yardage he gave up on that play, that's going to be tough for them to make up.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Working from the gun, it's Brady. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin.
And the Bucs are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year.
And the Buccaneers add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
From the 30 on second down, Lance. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Credit the sack to Vita Vea.
Well, here's where having mobility sometimes can work against you as a quarterback. He thinks he can retreat and outrun the pressure. But that time, they zeroed in on him and took him down for a big loss, partner.
A really big loss. Now after the sack, Lance and the Niners staring up here at a 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And here's a very low line drive, almost whiffed on it. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. And it looks like this will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he will make his way back to where he started from, and that's all, as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
To throw, it's Brady. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line.
And Nick Bosa so quick on the outside, he gets in there to bring him down.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive.
And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. And looking for Kittle, but it's intercepted.
Carlton Davis picks it. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD.
That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Zerline good with a PAT, and it is 28-0. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter.
Levante David in on the tackle.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there.
Right back to Mitchell on 2nd down.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
One final try now for Lance.
And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So fire the cannons. It's a victory here for Tampa Bay. And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
No, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for the Bucs, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Niners, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.